Yo, what up you guys, MxgicIQ here, and today I'm bringing you a video by the homie melleracappeller. There's actually a couple videos that we're going to watch here today, so essentially this is a reaction, but he has made a couple videos on the hidden knowledge in Need for Speed Unbound, aka everything you need to know that might not be so obvious when you first play the game, things that aren't going to show up in a tutorial or things like that, and also talk about some well-known things as well. So every now and then I'm going to stop and give my input where I believe to be necessary, but he covered a lot of what I don't think I was able to put into words myself, so I wanted to share that with you guys today, and he gave me permission, so big shout out to him. I need you guys to definitely go leave a like on each of these videos, link down below in the description. I wanted to make sure they got the exposure they deserve because these two videos need more attention and more traction because they are very well put together and very hilarious to watch as well. So if you guys want to watch it without me cutting out all the copyrighted music, etc., whatever I couldn't put in my video, make sure you guys go check out the full uncut, non-reacted to videos. They are very good, very informative, and they will be something you will always go back to check on things you possibly didn't know in the game, to show to your new friends who might be just getting into Need for Speed Unbound, approaching maybe volume 3 hopefully. Let's see how close that is around the corner, but let's get straight into it without further ado.
That I haven't heard anyone talk about yet, but some of what I'll mention has definitely been covered. However, there are some hidden nuances that I've seen gone completely unexplained.
Bones off of this guy. You're the bone buyer?
We'll start with some more well-known entries, like grip turns and micro drifting. At any point in a race, you can initiate a micro drift. You can exaggerate a turn on a straightaway to fill up your burst nitrous while maintaining a drift without having your car completely slide out. The end result is a fat burst nitrous gain from your drift and grip turn. I've always been a watch and learn kind of guy, so if you were expecting a proper tutorial, I'm so sorry. But I'd highly recommend checking out creators like Militia Gaming Community and MxgicIQ. They go way more in depth with their content than I ever have.
So the first thing he covers is grip turns and micro drifting. First off, I want to give a big thank you, bro, for even including my channel in your video and even giving me a shout out. It means the world, bro. Honestly, I know you say it means the world that I commented, but honestly, this means more than anything because you taking the time to recommend people to my channel really shows that you truly, believe in my channel, and I believe in yours too, and that's why I wanted to make this video. But touching on micro drifting, I just want to say that micro drifting, he kind of broke it down as easily as it can be. Watching and learning, more or less doing, is going to teach you guys how to do it, but I have a full video on it doing the best I can. Essentially, how you initiate a micro drift is while you're taking a turn, you want to initiate essentially a drift, but still maintain the angle of grip that a normal grip turn would have without over rotating. And I have a full video on that can be found linked down below in the description. Let's get straight back into this video.
Now let's talk about automatic versus manual launch. When in manual, you are able to change gears at the start of the race. Virtually every car will have a faster launch at second or third gear. I'll show you a side-by-side comparison of the 180SX in automatic versus manual. Oh shit, we got some bonus knowledge! After switching your car mid-playlist, you are unable to change gears on a manual launch. That's it.
This is perfect because I always get you guys asking me questions on, hey Magic, why can I not change gears after switching cars in a playlist? I don't know what it is, and obviously there's no real answer to why it happens, but I just know that as of right now, that's what's in the game, and that's what we have to deal with because those are the cards we're dealt. So if you plan on switching cars in a playlist, just know that you're not going to be able to get that extra, basically second or second and a half to 2 seconds towards your time by launching it manual. It honestly can make or break a run just simply from the launch, from the get-go. If you're launching in first, you're going to be slower, no doubt about it. So they need to fix that. Will they? I don't know, but let's get back into this video because this is honestly very well put together.
Have you ever noticed when your burst nitrous does nothing? Or other times when you simply just cannot drift? Let me introduce you to the glitch wave.
So I'm very glad he especially brought this up because it's something I've wanted to talk about but didn't really know how to bring up or what to call it. The glitch wave is what he refers to as the moments after making contact with either a person, hitting the ground hard after a jump, hitting a traffic car, hitting a wall, doing anything, making contact with anything else but just air and on the road flat driving straight will delay any drifting initiation or burst NOS. Or if you're drifting and you get hit, you basically just start crab walking off of the map. It's just a super unnecessary and completely idiotic thing to have in a game such as Need for Speed, especially when they're actually promoting making contact with other racers this year via takedowns. It makes no sense to have a mechanic like this, which essentially, if you get hit in a drift build, will ruin any time you possibly might have. It's just super hard to have clean, subtle racing when you have mechanics like this, because there's moments where you simply cannot save your car, and in an arcade racer, I should be able to reinitiate and get back on my line as quickly as possible after making contact or jumping 36 feet in the air with my $800,000 car.
Collisions, the HUD will glitch out. When this occurs, your ability to initiate a drift and gain
It's crazy
speed
he
from
broke
burst
it down
nitrous is
like this.
disabled.
Because I didn't even think about it this deeply. Like, seeing him break this down really showed me how bad this is. No burst NOS there. And that's what it normally looks like. That's insane to me.
The auxiliary bug. Auxiliaries are the passive boosts you can equip, such as increased nitrous gain from drifting and grip turns. The auxiliary bug...
Now, I try to talk about this every single video, but, I mean, guys, you just have to reset your auxiliaries every time you change cars, or your car's simply just not going to be as fast as it could be. That's as simple as it is. You uninstall it and reinstall it. I don't know what kind of bug this is, but this is another thing that needs to be fixed in the X update, like ASAP, because I love this game and I want to keep playing it, but things like this just make the experience, like, I want to be able to cruise around in my maxed out M5, and when a race pops up, I want to be able to know, hey, I can switch cars without worrying about changing gears. Hey, I can switch cars without wondering if my auxiliaries are going to work or not, because I want to cruise around in this car while I'm waiting for a playlist, but I don't want to have to be slower than everybody else when we do this playlist when I'm using this car. So it's just like, it's something I don't want to have to think about in an arcade racer. Like, getting my build ready to go into a race is something I should think about when doing a daily race on Gran Turismo. Like, I just want to drive around in my $8 million car, smashing into cop cars and jumping over bridges, and then if a race pops up, I want to switch into my B-Class R34 without thinking it's going to be slower than everybody. But I'm already slow anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Turns. The auxiliary bug has been preached across many build videos, but
True.
none of them have really gone in depth.
Sorry.
So here's how it works. Upon joining a lobby, your auxiliaries aren't active, even though they are clearly equipped. To fix this, you have to unequip and re-equip the auxiliaries. How often do you have to repeat this process, you might ask? Every single time you switch over to a different car, you must do it again. Back to the 180 SX on the third race of the playlist, and the extra nitrous gain is now gone. After multiple tests, the auxiliaries will remain active in between races and into free roam. But as soon as you switch, it's time to go back to the garage.
To be fair, I've even had moments where, like, I'll be in the middle of a series or a playlist, I guess, and I'll switch cars and then switch back to my main car, and the auxiliaries will still be up, but I'll play with the same car through 3 playlists sometimes, and then on the third race, for whatever reason, the same car I've been using the entire time won't allow me to shift, and I didn't even switch cars. So usually, I don't even select the same car I was using. I just drop my controller and watch the countdown go until the race starts, and then I hop in the car that I was already in, because that's what was already pre-selected. And I usually don't have the gear or auxiliary issue, but I've had weird things happen in this game, just kind of all over the place, and it's just these last little few hiccups that need to be fixed just to make this game completely perfect, and it would be very, very fun to play. But There's also core mechanics that ruin this game too, but that's for another topic at a later date. I'm going to try and cut this video less and talk less now and just really let you guys watch the rest of this because we still have one more video to go over and there's a lot of good information in here to soak up. So let's get straight back into it. I'm just going to chime in every now and then when I see it completely necessary, but I'm really just going to try and let the video play the rest of itself out.
It just completely changed the sound profile of my car. I don't know why that is.
This is something else I didn't know. He's saying essentially here, when he puts his auxiliaries back on, it changes how his car sounds, which it really does, which is crazy.
The last thing I'd like to mention is persistent nitrous. In my attempts to test the auxiliary bug, it took me 15 minutes just to get people to join my race.
Story of my life. I've had 10 people available to race recently in each lobby, and they still won't accept races.
I left a lobby and joined a new one.
Where he has to reset auxiliaries again, by the way. I noticed
that I only had half of my nitrous left. Weird. I went back through the recordings and found that I had half nitrous in the lobby I was in previously. This isn't anything useful in the slightest, but I still found it interesting.
Alrighty guys, so that was video 1. A lot of good information there. Let's go ahead and check out number 2 for Need for Speed Unbound Hidden Knowledge. Let's see what other knowledge we can pick up from this video.
Hi, welcome back. I'm making a follow-up to my first hidden knowledge video because whoopsies, I missed a few of my notes.
Oh.
So let's waste no time with our first section, pushing the limit. Top speed of 192 miles per hour? Bullshit! Let's take that baby to 197. Hell, make it 203. 222? Give me 234, goddammit! Most cars I've driven seem to have a kickback once you start to redline. The 180SX, for example, kicks back at 193 and 192. It's posted top speed. However, you can inch it up to 197 by easing off the throttle just a little bit.
And as you guys all know today, I'm pretty sure everybody knows, it's called revtech. That is something that you let off the throttle and essentially gain more miles per hour on each build in the game. It is possible. There are some motors where it is actually more beneficial than others, some of those being the 4.9 and the 4.6 liter V8s. You are able to get sometimes up to another 20 to 15 mile per hour out of some motors. I've had some cars read 171 and go all the way up to 200 miles per hour. You never know. It just depends on the car. Some things you can fit a lot into the build just by doing that. It's kind of busted, but it's a mechanic that's in the game. Sometimes I wish we just had, different ways to categorize cars other than just their top speed rating. But it's one thing that is in the game, and it's not necessarily obnoxious or bad or good. It's just kind of there, and it's just something we have to deal with. But I thought it was kind of funny how he represented that in this video, because it's very true. Every car is a liar completely. Even the car's basic top speed, usually you can go 1 or 2 above that just by pressing the trigger down. So let's go ahead and continue the video.
Another example is the Golf GTI, which kicks back at 219. Using the same technique, you can push it up to 230. Using that in tandem with a burst, and you could be pushing 234. With easing off the throttle still fresh in your mind, it's time you ease up, man. One thing I find people still doing on launch is revving up all the way and letting go when the race is about to start. It's something I did when I first started, and I found it pretty annoying and inconsistent. But I've learned that you don't even have to do that at all. Instead, you can lightly squeeze the trigger until you find the sweet spot in the perfect launch zone. I find this to be infinitely more consistent.
Actually, funny enough, with it being infinitely more consistent, it also has benefits, as in where you launch in the green bar actually does matter per car. So just know that, and how early you actually hit the gas after the green goes go and you actually get a perfect launch. You actually can get different launches. For example, the Testarossa, being that it's a mid-powered car with very long gears in A class, for example, if you launch in the higher end spectrum of the green bar and hit the gas as soon as the race says go, you actually will get a little bit of tire spin and wheel spin, which will cause you to actually not bog out. Whereas if you kind of launch in the lower half of the green bar and hit the gas a little late, the car will bog out, actually giving you a slower perfect launch. That's why you'll see me and Kois on stream sometimes. We'll have the same exact build and the same exact basically startup, but one of us will get a better launch than the other one, just depending on how lucky we were with kind of the draw of the, you can get as consistent as possible sometimes. Like I'll get it now where I'm getting the best launch every 3 or 4 times, but that 4th time still does happen at least a quarter of the time, just because RNG in this game plays a big factor with everything, whether it's burst NOS, launch, actually getting your burst NOS, specifically crowns. It's just one of those things that's just another hidden knowledge that I don't think he mentioned necessarily in this video, but I wanted to add on to the launch, that if you launch in a different place in the green bar, it can give you a different outcome on how hard you will actually launch. That's just how it is in this game, and something else we have to deal with.
Here we go, we got some more bonus knowledge, baby! You can change your gear on launch before the countdown. You can even hear the shift happening if you listen closely. This will save you from having to scramble to shift up for your car's best launch during the countdown. Let's take to the skies and talk about aerial burst. Using burst nitrous in the air essentially does nothing. But from my testing, it seems that if the nose of your car is tilted down enough, it will help you reach the ground slightly faster. It is kinda hard to tell though. It's not really the best.
One more thing I actually wanted to add on to this. So something that somebody in my chat taught me is that if you actually, while you're launching off of a jump, downshift immediately, it will make you hit the ground faster. So for example, on like the Rumble playlist, which for some reason nobody plays anymore, if you go over that jump on the, I believe it is the first S-Class race, on the back side where there's that hairpin right after it, you can accidentally over jump that. So what somebody in chat taught me to do is either go super far left so that you jump kind of sideways and hit the ground faster, or if you're just going straight and you're having like kind of a close race, you downshift as soon as you hit the edge of the jump, and it'll bring you down to the ground faster and decel you quickly before the jump, causing you not to jump as far. Only really necessary where if you're trying not to jump and you accidentally end up jumping, it can help you get to the ground quicker and get more stable so you can take off on your opponents.
Use case for your burst, as you're much better off just saving it after the landing. But be aware, if you land hard enough, you'll encounter a glitch wave from your body slamming into the pavement. So just keep all that in mind when you're taking a jump. On the topic of burst, I'd like to mention burst turning. It's pretty well known that you get a massive increase to your grip when turning. But if you didn't know, then now you do. Using a burst when taking a turn allows you to take turns with some insane aggression. But in a lot of cases, you can't just turn and burst. Throw in a well-timed micro drift, and you're off to the races. I'll end us off on a little itty-bitty section.
Hold up, wait. Does this guy look like me? Am I tripping? Like, wait, what? Wait, hold up. That guy looked like a lot like me. What the fuck? Yo, hey brother, man, did you find my twin and I didn't know? What the heck, bro? What the heck? Am I tripping? Okay, never mind. Back to the video.
Itty-bitty section about near misses. Whenever you bump into traffic, burst gain from near misses is disabled temporarily. It's a pretty small and insignificant window of time, but it could cost you from getting a full bar before a turn.
Alrighty guys, that is all of the hidden knowledge presented to you by Mellerman. I really enjoyed this video, and I thought it was very well put together, also with some funny humor behind it. Honestly, this guy's super talented. His videos are even better put together than mine. I'm still learning my, niche and how I'm supposed to incorporate my humor into my videos, because I don't know if you guys ever stop by the streams. We have a good time over there, and I'm always cracking jokes and having some rage moments, so I got to figure out how to incorporate those into my videos as well and make them a little bit more entertaining. I personally really love the way this guy formatted his content, so make sure you guys go over there, leave a like, comment, and subscribe on his video, more importantly than mine, because this is his content that he's allowing me to share with you guys. And then lastly, come back here and leave a like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I really appreciate you guys for tuning into this one. These are a few things that I thought you guys really should know. Basically, to sum it up, everything that is in this game that is very usable and very, you know, meta essentially isn't something that's taught via a tutorial. It needs to be broken down separately. The only thing he's really missing here in terms of micro drifting is Tron turning, and if you guys want a tutorial on that, I can make that coming out necessarily soon. There's ways to do it with drift builds and with grip builds. It's a little different. There's a few different techniques. If you guys need a Tron turning tutorial, let me know. I can bring that to you guys by myself, and Kois, he will also be helping me with that video because he is the best drifter that I personally know and am in contact with. I appreciate you guys for coming to this video and leaving a like and, you know, showing your support for my channel, because it means the world. I'll see you guys in the next one. Make sure you guys support him too. All links will be down below in the description to everything we talked about today. I'll see you guys in the next one, and I'm out. Peace.